Hello, everybody, and welcome to another energy focus video. I'm so happy you're here. If this is the first time you're joining me, let me introduce myself really quickly. My name is Marci Melzer. I'm an intuitive, I'm a speech language pathologist, and I'm a language facilitation coach and consultant. And I use these energy focus videos every week to reach out to those of you who are interested in using all of the information available to you from the video I'm watching, but as well as your own intuition and the messages that you receive from your nonverbal late talking child in your life, and the messages you receive verbally from guidance from maybe people in your environment, people in your family, people around you in professionally who are trying to give you advice or suggestions or whatever about your late talking journey. I'm here to help you on these weekly energy focus videos. Wrap it all up, use it all, and create your future, create your plan, because you are in charge of the language facilitation process. And just like I'm in charge of my Waves of Communication platform, and I'm the one who's innovating, I'm the one who's creating the future of my own life. I use information from everywhere, and I want to help all of you do that too. And that's what I do on these energy focus videos. Now, just like I use personally in my life, I'm here to help you use three bits of information, three areas, channels, if we want to call it, of information to help you on your language facilitation process. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the astrology. The astrology affects everyone. Now, it affects everyone a little bit differently, of course, because we're all individuals and we were all born at different times and different places and all of that. But there are general astrological things that are going on. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the top 3 videos I have for you this week. And we're going to be talking about the language facilitation inspiration cards. I've got my cards out. I've already pulled one for us for the week. And if you're still watching at the end of this video and you comment, I'll pull a card for you about the energy. Now, we have very, very cool energy coming up, very auspicious, very favorable energy in the planets going on for all of us right now. And that's what's really exciting. And it's why I have my topic this week to eclipse the old ways. What we're doing during this season is it gives us opportunity to revisit. So, what I want you to do is I want you to think about what was going on last November, because with eclipses, they work in about 6-month cycles, except for they always shift every year, sort of backwards in the astrological clock, to get to a new area of the whole astrological sky are being affected by these eclipses. And this year, we've got it in Taurus and Scorpio. The sun is in Taurus, the moon is in Scorpio. So what we've got is the Taurian Scorpio, that duality in astrology. We always have to consider both things, because all of the planets, just like all of our personalities, we have positive things and things that are really exciting and conscious and help us, but we also have shadow things that teach us lessons through every phase of our life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's all information, and that's why I talk about information on these energy focus videos. So astrologically, what we've got going on with these eclipses is your opportunity to think about, like I said, what was going on last November. We've had a lot of upheaval in the past 6 months. Now, you might have got something started then, and then it's been going through iterations, changes. You've been like, oh yeah, I really want to do this. You set your intention last November. Now, it's not necessarily what was happening last November. It's what you decided to do last November. Perhaps last November was when you first found the Waves of Communication channel, and you've been watching videos, and then you had the holidays, and then you had the new year, and then you moved, or then something happened in your life, or something, whatever has been sort of getting you ready basically for this time when we're ready to take the right action. So things are falling into place now. It may be that you have been frustrated over the past 6 years. With Saturn in Aquarius, it's all about like the old way's not going to work. You can't go back to the old. It has to be new. It has to be innovative, and it has to be good and solid and right for you. You can't be just trying this and that and the other over the past 6 months. If you did that, it broke down. It broke down quick. And so now is the time for the realization of all that. Taurus eclipse. Taurus is build, 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 build. Eclipse means we get a pause. We get a minute to stop the whole process. The literally the energy shuts down during an eclipse to make us stop and think about, is this the way? What do I have? Do I have the equipment? Do I have the information? Do I have the time? Do I have the money? Do I have whatever? In this period of time right now, getting ready for this eclipse, we're ready to walk through this is the reason I'm calling this video windows of opportunity, because what's great and unusual about this one that's never ever going to happen. Now, this same cycle, the sun in Taurus, moon in Scorpio, this eclipse cycle happens every 12 years because it comes around the cycle. There's 12 houses it goes through. And when it comes to this place, it happened 12 years ago. But so 12 years ago, if you're old enough to be around, what was going on 12 years ago could be revisited for you in sort of a major life kind of way. And for me, it is authoring and presentations. 12 years ago, I can't believe it's been that long now, I was doing conferences. I was talking about language facilitation. I was doing conferences in the healthcare world. And now, since I have left the healthcare world, all those opportunities have shut down. However, I am getting ready to do a new presentation at a podcast conference this August in Dallas. So if you are in the Dallas area, get ready for a personal meetup opportunity with me in Dallas, because that's why I'm going. I'm going to meet people and connect with people who are right for me this time, who are ready, who have given up on the old systems and are ready to start language facilitation in the right way. Maybe there'll be therapists who I meet there who are giving up because they're leaving the profession in droves and they're looking for new ways to do it. That's what I'm doing. Last November, I launched my workbook. Now I'm actually getting it finally, because Saturn held up for some reason. I couldn't get it printed in India. Now I'm able, it's opened up the opportunity. I found a platform that wasn't available 6 months ago. Now it's a new platform that's out, that's now available for me to be able to publish my workbook in print in India. That's the kind of opportunities. That's just an example of what's going on the Waves of Communication platform. But in your life, similar things could be happening. That's why this is a window of opportunity you do not want to miss. We've got it this time because of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction I've been talking about, how we've got this opportunity for expansion of opportunities, this window of time. And what it is the window between these eclipses. So we've got the solar eclipse going on this weekend, March 30th into April 30th into May 1st, wherever you live in the world. And then the lunar eclipse that's going on mid-month around the 15th, 16th of the month. It's these 2 weeks where you are going to see opportunities pop up for you. It might be coming already. And then the other thing that's really crazy about this period of time is in the middle of it, Mercury goes retrograde. Now, most people think Mercury retrograde is not a very good thing. However, in the middle of this period of time, Mercury is going to be going retrograde, and you're going to be able to revisit all of your education surrounding communication, your forward movement surrounding communication in this window where you're making the decisions about how you're moving forward. So it is the perfect opportunity. during this 2 week window to make your investment in coaching, to buy the workbook and get started with it. You're just getting started now, because what's going to happen is it's going to be over the next 6 months. Whatever you open up, whatever window you open up and walk through, doors, windows, caves, holes, wherever you're going right now, those opportunities that open up in the next 2 weeks, you're going to be working in those energies for 6 months and for future, because it started 6 months ago. This is how our cycles move. The astrology helps us move in cycles where we, get ideas and then we hack through them and work through them and trial and error them. And then we see the results of that. And then we take that information and move forward. And that's the way that I coach everyone to work with language facilitation, because you're connecting with your child's energy and it's always changing. Kids' energy is changing all the time, faster than the planets and with the planets. Those every moon cycle, you could see differences in your kid depending on when they were born, if you look at their chart. So we could get way into astrology, and that's kind of the other thing that's happening for me right now, is this is happening in an area of my life that's highlighting my interest in understanding how energy works and bringing it to the people, because that's what Mercury retrograde does. It helps me figure out how to refine my message to make it perfect for my audience, so that I'm not wasting your time, I'm not wasting my time. All right, so I'm seeing some great comments coming in here now. And I'm new in chat, but watch your videos. Thank you for joining me. So glad. And look at, here's what somebody says. Amen to that. It's so funny considering our lives. So that I'm telling you what, this astrology, this energy is really, really important, because you're missing out if you're not using it. And the people who just watch the videos on my channel that talk about tips and tricks and things to do, you're missing out, because when you tune into these cycles of what you've been doing, and everybody's been doing something different, everybody's been doing something. So what you're learning about now is you're going to get. So for those of you who just joined me, I've got my cards out. And if you put a comment here now, even if you already had a comment, I'm going to pull cards in a minute. But first, I got to talk a little bit more about the other information that I have for you. So first, we talk about the astrology. Second, we talk about the waves of communication videos, the recommended videos from the channel that are going to help you. Now, I went into my own intuition. Every week I do to sort of decide which videos to choose for you. And I chose 3, again, based on timing. It's so funny. When I even look at my channel, I see the videos that I produced 6 months ago and even a year ago, because I look back at the other time that the last eclipses were going on in Gemini and what's next, Sagittarius. They were going on, which was my notes. Anyway, like I said, we could get into astrology forever, but that's what we need to talk about now, is the language facilitation videos that are going to help you. And the first one I have, of course, it's so crazy, I made during the last eclipse. And look at this moon. It was a big lunar eclipse that was going on. And I made this fun tips to trigger speech, because remember, when we've got these eclipse times and we've got these opportunities, often it is just some inspiration that triggers you to try a new habit. Hey, I'm just going to try talking more slowly. Hey, I'm just going to try whatever. And this video is packed with fun tips. By the way, the links for all these videos are in the description of this one. So you can just go down there when you're done watching this one and check out those 3 videos. Now, that one, again, could be, maybe even you saw it 6 months ago. It could be the one that got you here, because it really is packed with tons of strategies to help you make a shift. And that's what eclipse season's all about. What is new that I want to try that's going to help me get to the stuff that I've been trying to do since here? And remember, it's going to be new. It's not the same. I'm going back to conferences, but they're not the same kind of conferences with the same kind of people. I found my people. I've been doing these interviews. You've been watching them on my channel if you've been following me, with all these other professionals I'm meeting who are like me, who have given up the system and are developing their own ways to reach out and help people like you who are reaching out to YouTube to look for solutions. And that's the way things are going. The systems are breaking down. Everybody knows it. These eclipses are just giving you the opportunity to be ahead of the game, because when the schools and the educations over the next 5 years, it's going to get worse. They're going to break down. If you're trying to make them work for you, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. as we move through these energies. That's why now these windows of opportunities are for you to create your own new path moving forward, the one that's right for you. Okay, so that last video is going to really help you start some new habits, try out some new habits. I did it during the last eclipse, and that's what's also great about eclipses is they happen over and over and over again, because if your life was too busy last time, if you were trying to solve a different problem during that time, if you were, because everybody's at different stages of this process, then this is your second chance to get around. That's what's great about the content on my channel. It's evergreen. If you get off your path because you get distracted by a move or by your husband losing his job, or you lost your job, or whatever, something like that, because these kinds of things are happening now in the world. If those things are distracting you off of your language facilitation journey, you can always come back. You can always come back to the channel. That's why we call it waves of communication. People get distracted off their channel all the time. That's why I have a lifetime coaching program. When people sign on to work with me, that's another great thing to do right now. I've got 2 new families starting during this window, are going to be starting their language facilitation plans. And I can't wait to see what they're doing. They've been following the channel for 6 months or more, and they're now in the process to be working with me. And I can't wait to see. Both of them have really tricky cases too. So I can't wait to see how fast they make improvement because they're joining in the right window. They're taking advantage of the energy. That's why I do these videos, to help you guys do this. It's up to you to take the action. I'm just over here giving you guidance. All right, so here's the second video that I have for you, and it's this one. The late talker is making noises at the wrong time. Now, I created this right about the time that I made my language facilitation inspiration guides, and I was starting to use them. There's tons of intuitive guidance about how to reach into kids that are not using speech at all, that are in the process of hacking through their own spoken language expression and shifting it from straight out behaviors, dragging you around, into speech. In the meantime, it's noisy, it's trials, it's errors, a lot of trials and errors. And that may not be, it may be repetitive trials and errors, try and try and try and try, right? And it could be annoying. They could be doing it at the wrong time. And remember, eclipse season has got these late talkers also in the energy of trying things that are new. So you could be hearing brand new kind of whatever surprising output, spoken language output or behavior, depending on where your child is in the process. You can use the workbook to find out where your child is in the process. And that's what you do is during this time, you really pay attention to the late talker. So you can see how they are also actively evolving from their own perspective, their spoken language. That's what you're facilitating in the process, obviously. And that's what we want to see. Okay. And let's see. The last one I have is a really interesting one. Thinking about my own self, it is this one: 5 tips to trim your child's anxiety around haircuts. This is the time of year when haircuts are happening, especially in the southern or the northern hemisphere, because we're getting ready to go into summer, and a lot of parents have not had haircuts. Last year, they were first getting out, and kids hadn't had haircuts for a long time because a lot of the haircut places were closed. Parents who missed that opportunity when I made this video, that was the one that was going on during the eclipse last year at this time. You could be finding yourself needing those tips to get through haircut time, because it can be really tough. It can be really, really tough. Now, last week, I also did a video about diagnosis. You could be struggling with diagnoses times. Remember, this is your window of opportunity to use all the strategies to equip and empower your future and your process about all this. So, all right, now one more thing moving into the next time is the language facilitation inspiration cards. So what I did was, I don't know if this is the first time you're watching me and you haven't seen these cards are created to help parents and caregivers connect and communicate with late talkers. The fronts are messages from late talkers. It's a visual, there's an image, there's a graphic, and there's a message, an actual message. And then on the flip side is the strategies, the inspired action you can do when you perceive these messages from the late talker. So what I did today was, always when I do this video, I meditate a little bit before and I ask the cards, what's the message that goes best with the information that I'm sharing on this week's energy focus video? And it was this card that came up right here, this one that says, give me details. So What you always want to do when you're working with my cards or any cards, if you decide you can use any cards for this, you can use a book for this, you can use any kind of whatever you make your own. I just made up my own, and it's sort of like a divination tool, but it's really what's there to help you with it. And what you want to do is you just want to pay attention, and I'll pull a card for you. So comment below if you want me to pull a card for you, but this is the card that I have for everybody. Okay. So and in what you do with these cards is you always pay attention to the whole image on the card. Some people are get messages through symbols like numbers and images, things like that. Some people get messages through the words, and some people get messages through the picture and the emotion they feel when they see the picture. It's real, those people that are empathic, kind of like that. And if you're watching this video, you're somewhere along that process. You like to play with energy and work with energy. So that's what you're doing with these cards. Now, when we look at this one, we see the messages, give me details. And we see this mom, this little guy is curious. Now look at his little feet. He's walking on these rocks and they're freaking him out. He doesn't like how they feel. They're, whatever. Look at his expression on his face. He's surprised. He's uncomfortable, whatever. There's a lot of messages going on in here. And look at the mom. She's got a look on her face. She is projecting an image that is comforting and is just smiling to let him know, ooh, I know it feels uncomfortable, but this is why. Once you learn why it happens, you can laugh about it and we can solve the problem together. We can put on shoes or we can move. So give me details before you start solving the problem. So this mom could just pick up this kid and haul him off the rocks and say he doesn't like rocks and say that to someone else. Or she could connect with the lay talker and talk to him about the situation and help him figure it out. And that's how we do this here. Let me show you the flip side of this card. Information equals confidence. That's the inspired action on this card. And then the late talkers become eager to participate in new experiences like walking on rocks, right? When they understand both the risks and the benefits. Like, ooh, you can see how brave you are. Look, those other kids are doing it. Or, you can protect your feet. Your motivation for getting off the rocks is the same, right? I'm confident. I don't like it and I am moving. Thank you very much. No, all of this is communication. It's empowerment for the lay talker to just say what they like or don't like about all of the experiences. So this is what you want, right? This is the kind of communication that you're wishing for from lay talkers. It's not just what I want and what I don't. And here's how you facilitate that is always the bottom of this card. Discuss the lay talker's reactions to using words, and describe how they feel their way through exploration, right? That's what they do. Remember, this little guy is feeling something about this experience. I like it. I don't like it. It's interesting. It's not. I think it feels cool. I think it feels bad. Whatever they're doing, that mom knows because she's there connected with that little guy. And then what you do is you talk about what's happening to you when you walk on the rocks, right? Your experience, you're having the same experience together. And then that's how you can share. You can see, ooh, I don't like it, or ooh, I like it. And they can say, well, I don't understand why you like it. It's sharp and pokes my feet. I don't understand what you think is cool about it, but okay, if you do. And that's how you understand different people it's okay. It's okay to not like something and say you don't like it. It's also okay for somebody else to like that thing. It's okay, whatever, to each their own. And these are the kinds of things that lay talkers don't always understand. Sometimes they think that they have to like everything that you give them, that because you maybe have that expectation. Look, I got this thing, or I made this food. Very good example. I made this food for you and you don't like it. You spit it out. You liked it yesterday. You don't like it today. Okay. That happens. We all have a distaste for something. We all change our minds about something. Maybe you don't feel like eating that thing today. Maybe you have been eating for 2 weeks and he decided he wanted to change, right? It's up to you as the language facilitator to understand that. All right, let's see some more comments that are coming in. All right. And so we've got Ramya. Ramya says, glad to see you after nearly a year. Couldn't get on due to the time zone. I know the time zone's changed, and I'm glad that you are. Ramya, where are you? Post in the comment where you're from. Let's go ahead and pull a card for you. That I'm glad to see you back, and see after nearly a year, it's your opportunity. This is the eclipse window that's got you back onto the channel, actually able to find me. I know when I do my other videos, my other videos where I do live Q&As, they're on Thursdays at 11 a.m. And I know it's like 9-10 p.m. in India. So, wherever everybody is. I know that there's a lot of people that watch in India. That's why I said it. But I don't know where you are, Ramya. You can let me know. Where in India even. All right, Ramya's card, says, I have dreams. Look at this beautiful card, Ramya. Now, my green screen's going to take out all the greens, but he's sitting in a field of grass behind him, and it says, I have dreams, and look at that butterfly, and look at, there's a little dog on this image. Look carefully at that image to see what you like. And then the back says, bring dreams into reality. I'm going to see if I can get this to focus. There it goes. So you can screenshot it, and I'll take a picture. Late talkers constantly replay memory movies in their heads to recall feelings and gain inspiration from previous experiences. That's what eclipse season does. It reminds us, also Mercury retrograde, reminds us of previous experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, Ramya, that's what you want to do. So she says, allow the late talkers some alone time every day to reflect and process their experiences. Spend time together before sleep, expressing gratitude for 3 positive experiences from the day. I love this. This is one of my favorite opportunities / strategies, because that's what all these strategies are, is just you creating opportunities to connect with the late talker and provide them with language that they need. And so over the past year, Ramya, you've been doing this, but maybe you've been distracted and you haven't been, focusing on these dreams. You've been getting, life itself has been getting in the way of your dreams of helping your child start to communicate better. And we fall into these habits of just doing the same old, or reading their mind and responding to them and getting to things that they want. So that could be what's going on. And my favorite thing is, right before you go to bed, it's your last chance every day. You could be so busy all day doing the things that you do, but you're never too busy when you tuck your little one into bed. Never too busy for that time. Snuggle in next to them, whisper in their ear, talk about all the wonderful things that they tried to do that day. They listened. They stood in line at school. They washed their hands. They did something, initiating something that they never used to do before, to help you, to support you. Show gratitude. Thank them for their effort of the day. They're feeling exhausted just like you are. Your late talker is feeling exhausted at the end of the day, and that's what they want from you. That's kind of what I'm perceiving anyway. So hopefully that's helpful for you. All right, Brooke, let's go ahead and pull one for you. You're the caregiver. And I want to see, what do the cards have for you this eclipse season, the time that you are spending with the late talker in your life, Miss Brooke. What is it that the cards have for you? We're in this together. Okay, and what I'm getting about this is connecting with the late talker as well as his parents. See the gears? 3 gears. It's not just you and him. It's you and him and his mom and dad, his parents too. And I know potentially they could be going through the energy that I was talking about before, that we're so busy, we're overwhelmed, we're working, we're moving, we're, all the other things that they're doing. And you're the one that's helping watch the late talker while they get really busy doing their life. Because that's what happens, especially during the pandemic. You see, the things that we used to have a lot of extra time when we could rely on other people and services to do things for us. When we were even in the commute, you relied on other people to entertain you in the radio, where you couldn't scroll and find the video you wanted on YouTube. You had to listen to what was going on talk radio because you didn't have YouTube in your car, right? Remember? Now, during the pandemic, during the times that you were locked down, during the times that you changed all those other habits before, potentially now you've gotten into habits of taking your own responsibility for where the entertainment comes from, and you're not relying on the radio, or the radio isn't sufficient anymore. Like, what's going on? How do I make my process move forward? And that was just one little example of just one little thing that could be breaking down. It didn't change. It happened for me. I used to listen a lot to the news. Because I was curious to know, things were changing so rapidly in the world. I would have a daily newscast that I watched, whichever one, and I would jump around to try to get the other perspectives even. And then it just got so toxic with so much breaking down that I don't watch it anymore. I watch it less and less. I tune in a little to sort of find out the headlines, but that's about all I can handle anymore of this. And I think late talkers are realizing the things that they're being sent back out to do, go back to school, go back to therapy, go back to whatever. They're wrapping up these school years now, and they're looking forward to a summertime when, they can really get things going. Let's read what it says on the back of this card. It says, share your strategy. You can go ahead and screenshot this. I'll hold it a little longer than the other one. Let's get it to focus. There it goes. Share your strategy. There you go. And it says reluctant late talkers will stop resisting and work hard. That's the whole point. If you're getting resistance, or the parents are getting resistance and you're not, right? You could be trying to say, hey, this is what's helping me. This is what potentially the late talker needs from you. Because remember, these are messages from the late talker. He wants you to share your strategy with the parents, whatever's working for you. But you have to do it in a way, not that you're going to try to tell them what to do, because they're not going to listen to you. Remember, every time your parent tried to tell you how to raise your kids, how much did you listen to them? Not so much. So you have to share the strategies that work to get the outcomes that you want. And you have to remind them that, they have these same strategies available. So you can model it that way. Let's see what the card says. So remember, the late talkers will stop resisting and start to work hard when you focus on the process as much as the progress, right? That's what happens to busy parents, is all of a sudden they're busy. They're not thinking about the late talking, the language facilitation journey. And then the late talker does some expression, some behavioral expression that frustrates them. And they're like, man, now, when is this ever going to happen? When is my progress going to happen? And then they realize, I guess I haven't really been focusing on this myself. Maybe now is the time for me to make a new effort, a dedicated effort towards getting these outcomes. I know I've been too busy, or I've been too whatever about how that's going on, but I think that's the situation that's potentially going on here. And the guidance is to explain how you're making it easy. How are you making it easy for the late talker to listen? How are you making it easy for them to learn and practice? And are you just shifting your speech and talking more slowly? Are you modeling the words that help them, that they really want, that are super fun? Are you, talking like I talked about in the last strategy? Are you reminding them about the things that they've tried? Wow, listen to you saying words. Look at you helping grandma. Look at you cooking or making your own, being independent, being such a big boy, doing things on your own. This is what the parents want. They want kids to be on their own so they don't have to care for them, in addition to caring for all the other things they've got to care for in their life. Go to work, care for their boss, do all those things, right? So that's what I'm feeling about you, Brooke. Ramya says, when there is a response time lag, when there's a time to process, there's more than minutes to respond. What's your suggestion? Please provide a spoken response from a late talker. What's your suggestion, please, to prove on a spoken response, to improve on a spoken response? So, I see. Well, of course, there's going to be a lag time potentially with the late talker to process what you say. You have to be patient. You also have to watch their body language and see what's going on. If there's a lag, potentially it's the late talker waiting for you to provide a slower, more in-depth response, give them more information. Remember, when we're not talking, we're potentially listening. And again, if we know the answer, but we hesitate, there's only two reasons. Number one, we're afraid we're wrong. Like, okay, the answer I know might get a bad response. I might get I might get a no, I might get a negative. I know what I want to say, but I have a feeling it's not what you want to hear, so I won't say it. That's one reason that kids won't talk. And then the other one is they just don't want to. They, again, they don't want to say it because there's always a reason they don't want to, because maybe you're asking them to say something that they have already communicated non-verbally. And they're like, you already know that I want the cookie. Why are you making me say cookie? Okay, what else do I have to do? Do I have to do backflips? Do I have to touch my nose? Do I have to do the chicken dance? What's going to make you just give me the cookie? You know I want the cookie. I know you know I want the cookie, but you're hesitating, waiting for me to talk or waiting for me to do something. I don't know why you're hesitating to respond to the communication I already gave you non-verbally. If you're waiting for the late talker to come up with words before you take action, that's why it's all stopped. Because they're waiting for you to provide words for them to learn from so they can provide words. You're not teaching them what you want them to do. Okay. And that's why you're frustrated, because they're not doing it, because they're frustrated because you're not teaching them. That's what all this is. You want the late talker to improve. That's what you're telling me. You want them to improve upon what they're saying. That's when the workbook comes into play. Right? Because what you do in the workbook is you analyze the level of the child, and then you use the strategies in the workbook to help them elevate to the next level, because each level becomes a comfort zone for the late talker. As long as they know you understand them and you respond without expanding on that. Like, oh, I know you want this, and this is why you want it, and you want me to do it in this way. You've got to say those things out loud so the late talker can learn those words to ask you in the future. That's what we're talking about in this whole video, is to present opportunities to learn to talk. That's what a facilitator does. You present opportunities that equip and empower the late talker to try, and as they keep trying, they get better. That's all there is to it. And it doesn't matter what level they are right now. There's always a next level to facilitate. That's what you understand. It's not all about dreaming about pie in the sky. It's about understanding where we are now, where the late talker is now, connecting with them at the same level to move forward. Okay. Let me see. I think I've got everybody. Oh, there was somebody on Facebook who said, thanks. This is so helpful. I'm not sure who you are, because on Facebook, you don't get to put your name like you do on YouTube. But I'm going to pull a card for you. So if you are interested, this is your last chance to get a card pulled on this video. Otherwise, you've got to join me tomorrow and get coaching on Q&A. The card that I have for you, Facebook user, is this one. I need to run around. Look at this card. I love this card. This is true for just about every late talker. I need to run around. There's a rocket ship. There's a kid running in a park, and a big old capital letter word, need. It's not just I want to move. I like to move. I want to go outside and play. No, I need to. My energy is stuck. And the only way we feel good is if our energy is moving. And we make our energy move when we're silent through our mental work and our focus, our reading, our images. We can be perfectly still, and our mind can be going a mile a minute watching videos on YouTube, things like that, right? But late talkers, who are trying to bring their messages out of their body, out of their mind, out of their energy. Because remember, the ideas don't come from any place in here. They come from the energy that's around us and through us to the world. That's how our ideas, there's no idea center. It's in our energy, our ideas. We get them, we're inspired by experiences with people. And when we learn from those experiences and integrate that knowledge, that's when it gets into our minds and memories in the frontal lobe. But what do we do with those memories? How do we use them? These language processing and expression, those things are mapping out in your brain. That's what's developing physiologically from the idea level, the energy level, all the way into the physical nerves growing in the brain, neuroplasticity. Okay, that's what we're focusing on here. And movement and rhythm are the catalysts, the way that our physical body helps connect with those ideas and bring them into actual manifestations of communication, which are anywhere from one teardrop to a full-blown meltdown to a lecture, right? All through the process, all through the process. So movement equals development. That's what this card says. Movement equals development. Every single late talker needs to move because they are developing their nerves in their brain. Okay, that's what they're doing. So, sorry about that. Physical movement helps late talkers organize neurological symptoms required for speech. That's why they crave feeling in their body, moving through space. Offer daily opportunities to experience feeling of free movement with swings, car rides, dancing, wrestling, biking, or running. Describe the emotions that are triggered by the movement. That's what we're doing here. We're getting these lay talkers to evolve and they need to move. So if you're watching the gal on Facebook, that was the whole thing. So yeah, so I think that's what we're talking about. Brooke says, all true. And that's what's so interesting about these cards. Even if you're watching on the replay, these messages are coming from, these folks were inspired to join this video to share their world with us in a tiny little bit, just like I shared the little stories at the beginning of this video about what's going on in the Waves of Communication platform. Right now is the time for you to be taking action. If you feel like doing something, I'm not surprised. So why not? Why not get started? Do something little, do something big, just do something. Get the book. These cards, there's a few decks available. Free shipping in the US. If you're outside the US, I'll contact you to work out something for shipping because they're here. And I'm not ordering any new ones until I'm in the middle of a physical move into my new location. So I'm not going to be ordering till summer. The new decks aren't going to be available till summer. So if you want to get your hands on these cards that are flying around all over, if you want to get your hands on a deck, go to the link in the description of this video. That's where you're going to find it. It's a super secret link right now because there aren't that many decks available. And I just want them to get to people who want them, who need them. And they're super fun. They're super interesting to use, to play with the lay talker, to play with while you're making your plans, to use in coordination with the workbook. It all goes together based on you, based on how you want to work your energy. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Please like it. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and join me because these energy focused videos go up randomly. But you can always visit me at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Watch where your time changes happen because it's happened around the world over the last few weeks. Watch for your time change. And 11 a.m. Eastern, you can join me live Q&A. Ask questions about your journey. Learn new strategies every single week. I'm here to join you. So thanks again for joining me on this energy focus video today. I'll be back next week with more cards, more energy, more eclipse stuff. We're going to be in the thick of it next time. So join me then to learn what's going on and share in the comments how this is working for you. Let me know what's going on. So we can all move forward. Get these kids talking because it's up to us. being the language facilitators of the world to help these late talkers share their wisdom with all of us. And that's our job. Thanks again for joining me. Bye for now.